Right, so I want to do a follow-up video on this fella here, the Barcode Battler. Now, if you saw my, I think it was one of the eBay videos that I did previously, I said on that video that this was boxed and complete. It turns out it's not. I've counted the cards that are in here and I've got one missing. But I'm not too fussed about that because I can pick it up. There's plenty of people selling spare cards and stuff on eBay. I can probably pick it up for about £1 at a later date if I want to. The one thing I did want to mention is that I did say I was going to have a look around and see if I could find the interface that connects it to connects it to a Super Nintendo, Super Famicom rather, and see if because seemingly you can connect these to a Super Famicom and it works alongside game cartridges that are designed to work with it, and you can use the Barcode Battler itself as an interface to work with part of the game. Now, there's been a little bit of a minefield with this. For the first reason, right, it is absolutely definite, according to pretty much everyone on internet forums, that yes, the games that are designed to work with it will work on a European Super Nintendo with a universal adapter. I didn't think that would be an issue anyway. Nobody seems to be able to say whether the interface to plug into the Barcode Battler that goes in the controller port of a Super Famicom whether that interface will work with a PAL console. It obviously works with the Japanese ones and absolutely no problem, and in theory it shouldn't be a problem, but in the last 2 months I've only found one interface for sale, and it's on eBay. It's still on eBay now. I haven't bought it because it's £60. And that's not including shipping. It was £60 and then it was about £12 shipping or so from Japan. And frankly, I don't want to spend £72 on getting it in case it doesn't. Well, also, number one, in case it doesn't work, which in theory it should. Number two, I don't want to spend that kind of money on what I do consider as a novelty item. I'll probably play with it a couple of times and then it'll go in a box and never be seen again, and for something that I'm not going to play long term, you know, just as an experimental thing, I'm not willing to lay down that kind of cash. So if anyone sees this video and anyone knows or has one of these things, I'll show a picture of it somewhere so you can see if you've got one. Maybe you've picked one up at a boot sale and didn't have a clue what it was. I'll put a picture up somewhere. It's a Barcode Battler interface, BB2 I think it's called. If you have one and you've got it working with a PAL Super Nintendo, like a European Super Nintendo, then let me know how you get on with it, if the games are actually any good, because I don't own any of the cartridges either. Because I didn't see the point in buying any of the cartridges if I don't have the interface to play them with. Now there is an argument for getting a Japanese console as well, but again that would come down to much more expense, and I'm not willing to buy a Japanese Super Famicom, ship it over here, and then get it modified to work with a UK voltage. I'm not willing to put in that kind of money. So yeah, if anyone knows, please write in the comments or send a message, Twitter or whatever, and let me know how it actually works, and if it actually works, and if it's any fun as well. The game that comes as standard on a Barcode Battler is just a simple sort of Wizards and Warriors type RPG thing, and it's okay. It's okay for what it is. I mean, bearing in mind it's getting on for 20 years old now. You know, there was only so much scope they could do with these games. But I'd really love to hear about it, because I think some of these novelty items, you're never going to see the like of them again. You're always going to see light guns of some degree, and you're always going to see, but you're never going to see these sort of niche items ever again. So I do think they are quite interesting. And it's basically down to a lack of information and not willing to spend a lot of money to find out the information myself. So yeah, that's the follow-up to that.